morning, good afternoon, good evening. Remember me? It's your boy, Celine Driver. Well, driving a Hyundai at the moment. I'm on my way back home from an unexpected day trip up to Tampa. My kid needed me. I had nothing else going on, so I figured, I can help her out. Why not head on up to Tampa, see if I can fix the problem, have lunch with my kid, and then go home. So I had lunch with my kid, and unfortunately couldn't fix the problem completely. It's a car problem, and unfortunately for her, it's a leak that I can't fix. So I patched it up as best I could, made an appointment for her to go to a repair shop tomorrow and get the problem fixed professionally. So I figured I got nothing better to do on my way home than talk. And thanks, JC. I'm doing all right. I am on my phone. I am driving this way. The phone is down here. So I'm not going. Hey, Bulldog JC, and there's CJ. And I won't be able to see the comments very well. So if I don't see a comment, obviously I want to keep my eyes on the road and not on my phone, which is over here, and I'm driving out here. So don't be offended if I don't see you. I'm pretty sure most of you have forgotten about me by now because I haven't done any streaming in over a month, and except for one brief appearance on the substitute stream about a week and a half or 2 weeks ago on Vic's channel. I've been keeping to myself. We've gone over all the reasons why I've been keeping to myself. I'm not going to rehash all that. Quite frankly, that's back there, and I'm trying to look forward. It was time for me to step aside for a while, and I'm going to continue to be stepped aside. Quite frankly, the idea of doing a weekly live stream and weekly walking and talking that nobody watched or cared about, and appearing on other people's streams, the idea of all that doesn't appeal to me anymore. And when it does finally appeal to me again, then I will consider whether or not I come back. And quite frankly, I don't think anyone gives a shit either way. No, I don't. I quite honestly, I don't think I'm missed by the college football TTC or whatever you want to call it, and that's fine. It's out of sight, out of mind. That's normal. But this is a good way to pass some time while I head south to my home. And it sort of time limits the stream at about an hour because it'll take me about an hour to get home. And hell, I'm not even on 75 yet. But I don't know. I don't really know what to talk about. I'm sure shit will come to me as I drive along. Let's see. Not a subject I'm pretty sure most people in the football group care much about, but we are in the thick of Stanley Cup playoffs. I mean, we're well on the way to that. As everyone knows or should know, I am a big Boston Bruins fan. I've been a Boston Bruins fan since I learned how to ice skate back in 68, 69. Yes, I am that old. And I did have the proverbial childhood of being on skates almost as soon as I learned to walk. And I did even play a little bit of Little League hockey. Hang on, Bulldog. I'll get to that in a minute. And I would even be ice skating now if it weren't for the fact that I am deathly afraid that if I take a fall on ice with the condition of my back, that I would really and maybe permanently hurt myself. And I ain't got time for that. But I love hockey. I've loved hockey since I was 4 or 5. I have some of the earliest childhood memories I have of watching hockey with my dad and his dad in the living room of either our house or my papa's house in Boston. Actually Newton, but it's outside of Boston. So this year looks really good for my Bruins. They were the number 1 team coming out of the regular season. It's called the President's Cup. It goes to the team with the best record in the NHL. They also set records for most number of games won in a season, most points, fastest team to 100 points. So a lot of records fell from this Bruins team, and it all stems from really good goaltending, which they had in a good long while. Fuck you, Tuukka Rask. Don't ever unretire. Right now, they're going to start playing, actually, while I'm driving home. They're going to be playing Game 4 against the Florida Panthers. And they are up 2-1 in that best-of-7 series. So, looking forward to a good number of weeks of quality playoff hockey to win the hardest trophy to win in all of sports, which is the Stanley Cup. And I'm hoping that my Bruins do it again. I really hope so. Anyway, Bulldog JC asked me what I thought of the Florida spring game. Well, if you listen to some of the pundits that are in our little TTC, I'm not going to mention any names, you would think that Florida should just basically weld shut the doors to the locker rooms, shut down Florida Field, and never come off the practice field for the entire season. Florida has no chance to do anything. They're going to be a bottom feeder team. They're the new Vanderbilt, blah, 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 blah. Same old shit I hear every year. Now, that being said, I watched the whole game. I live streamed the whole game. Perhaps some of you even were on the live stream. Maybe. I don't know. Did I like what I saw? Not all of it, no. Do I think Florida has problems? Yes, I think Florida has some serious problems. The offensive line looks a little vanilla. Well, hell, the whole offense looks a little vanilla. I'm just getting on 75 now. The running game looked good. I think the defense looked pretty good, but I mean, come on, it's a spring game. You've got a whole bunch of new people on the field, freshmen, transfers. You've got a lot of new coaching staff people in place. It's a new look Florida Gator team. Hey Wilkie, how you doing, man? It's a new look team, new faces on the field, new faces on the coaching staff. are we gonna win the SEC? No. Are we gonna beat Georgia? No. Are we gonna contend for the playoffs? No. Are we gonna be a respectable team? Could be. Depends on your definition of respectable. If I look at the schedule, I see, a good number of losses. First, the loss is going to be week 1 against Utah. I don't think we can pull a miracle off against Utah once again. But what did I think of the spring game? I mean, it was a spring game. I mean, what do you want out of a spring game? It's basically a glorified practice game. Do our quarterbacks look polished and NFL ready and look like they're going to tear through the SEC like a hot knife through butter? No. But it's a spring game. I don't know what anyone expects out of a spring game except a good time had by the fans, a good time had by the players, a chance to take the field in full pads and nearly full contact. And that's it. I mean, I don't know what else anybody wants to say about it. I mean, some people are saying Florida football embarrassed itself, set football back 1,000 years, etc., etc. There's a word for that. It's called hyperbole. And that kind of blanket statement is dripping with hyperbole. And it's I mean, my cousin, shout out to my cousin Paul, who is an alum of Free Shoes University. He's sitting there sending me messages, laughing his ass off about what the team looked like, and I replied back to him. I said, three mediocre to bad coaching staffs and a decade or more of destruction of the program. What do you expect? Still managed to beat Florida State 3 out of the last 4 years. At which point he stopped talking to me. And Florida State is looking good, I gotta admit. Reluctantly. But it is what it is. So, next question. It is what it is. Want to touch on the AR-15. Oh, I probably shouldn't say that or else I'll get shut down. The Anthony Richardson thing, where it looks like all the pundits are saying that athletically talented but mentally challenged slob is going to go in a high first-round draft pick. I actually feel bad. I don't know which team Anthony Richardson's going to end up on, but I actually actively feel bad for that team. Because, he's got athletic tools, to be sure. I will never discount his athletic ability. But he's got nothing up here. Up here, between the ears, is more empty than the Grand Canyon. And he had trouble reading defenses and making adjustments at the college level. Now he's going to do it at the pro level where everything is accelerated and everything happens faster and harder. And I don't see it. I don't see Anthony Richardson being an asset to a no-fun league team. But you know what? In the end, I don't care, because once a player who I love to death, like Kyle Trask or Kyle Pitts or any of our running backs that were great and I loved watching them play, once they leave UF, I don't care about them anymore. I really don't. They're now in the black hole known as the National Felons League. And as far as I'm concerned, they don't exist anymore. So, good luck to you, Anthony. I think you're going to be a bust in the National Felons League, just like you were a bust in college. I mean, do these pundits even watch game film? I mean, did they not watch AR run around like a blind chicken and throw to the wrong team and make mistake after mistake and turnover after turnover? I mean, for me, he was Trayon Harris version 2. He was Felipe Franks version 2. But he's gone now, and University of Florida can move forward. Move forward. Coming up on some traffic here. Hopefully keeps moving so I can go home. Did not want to spend my Sunday sitting in the middle of Tampa traffic. And let's see, here in Tampa, I want to touch on this briefly. Here in Tampa, evidently the Succaneers have picked up Baker Mayfield. I think it's Baker Mayfield, off of trade or whatever, however the hell they got a hold of him. And he's going to compete for the quarterback position for the Bucks against Kyle Trask. Now that Brady is retired for the second time. Maybe he stays retired, maybe he doesn't. And everyone on the news is talking about Pitts versus Mayfield. Pitts versus Mayfield. Mayfield versus Pitts. Not Pitts, Trask. And I look at them and I say, with the amount of hatred that the No Fun League displays to Gator quarterbacks or former Gator quarterbacks, Trask has no chance. He's not going anywhere. He's going to be riding the bench again because the No Fun League has a hatred for all things Gator, and they're going to bypass Kyle Trask, and they're going to go with a locker room cancer like Baker Mayfield. So that's all I got to say about that. Kyle Trask will get passed over. Mark my words. So it won't even be close. It really won't. What else you want to talk about? Somebody in the chat, give me a subject. Go ahead, ask me a question. Give me a subject. It's all yours. If there is anyone in the chat. If there is anybody watching. I don't know if there's anybody watching. I really don't. Might be one person. Might be 5. I don't know. I don't think anyone cares anymore. Vic 2. What do you think about Bud Light? The beer or the controversy? The beer is drinking Bud Light. I'm told is like fucking and making love in a canoe. It's fucking close to water. I'm not a beer drinker. I'm really not. On the very rare occasions I drank beer, I either drank Rolling Rock or Samuel Adams. I don't recall ever drinking Bud Light. So now the controversy. I could do a lot of time on the controversy, and I could get my YouTube channel shut down. I do find it very funny on a couple of points. First point being that Anheuser-Busch, which is the parent company, obviously, has lost about $6 billion in corporate value because of the stupidity of one Gen Z woke idiot and her firm belief that a beer company should shit on their own customer base. She hates on the customer base calls them frat boys and Neanderthals or what have you, and takes the brand in a whole direction to placate and virtue signal to 1/10 of 1% of the population, over millions of people who drank the beer and are now, throwing it away or pouring it out or shooting automatic weapons at cases of the stuff. So, and now she's lost her job. I mean, they're calling it a leave of absence. I'm using air quotes. But she lost her job, folks. Rightly so. She tanked that company faster than you can say Bud Light. And Anheuser-Busch is going to spend years trying to recover from the stupidity of one woke chick who decided to virtue signal at the expense of the corporate bottom line, the shareholders, and the people who work at the company. Because she's stupid. And she deserves what she gets. Next question. But no, I don't drink Bud Light. I don't drink beer. I don't drink, period. It's not good for my system. And it doesn't mix well with the medications I'm on. So that would be all most of what I got to say about that. Let's see what else. Nothing else? Nobody got anything else to ask? Oh, pardon me. Beautiful day today. Nice and warm. About 90 degrees down here. Speaking of 90 degrees and warm and all that, I understand, I don't know if it's official or not, but I understand that the Slob Olympics 2024 is going to be held in Panama City in March. Yeah. My advice to you folks out there who are not watching and ignore me because I don't know what the hell I'm doing, make your reservations early for PCB, because PCB is a favorite spring break spot in the state of Florida, and it's also tourist season in the state of Florida. So hotel rooms fill up real quick, especially on the coastal cities like Panama City or where I live, but that's another subject. And yeah, actually, that's another thing. Somebody asked me a while ago because they were doing this bidding thing, which I don't know if that was real or not, where you're actually sending in bid suggestions to the Slob Olympics. I don't know if that was real or not, but they asked me if I was going to do that for where I live. I said, no, no way. For one thing, hotel space in my city is expensive. My city also almost doubles its population between the months of October and the end of April. So you're looking at very, very difficult to get a hold of hotel space here and spaces to play Slob Olympic games. So I really didn't think that Slob Olympics would do well in Sarasota. I really didn't. So I never suggested it. I wasn't planning to. Not that I wouldn't love to have all you slobs come down to where I lived, but I just didn't think it would be a good idea. I didn't think it would be economically feasible. It's also deep into the state of Florida. I mean, we're about halfway down the peninsula, and folks coming from Georgia and Alabama, we're looking at 8 to 10 hour drives. I actually didn't think you guys would make the drive anyway, so I never suggested it. Panama City Beach, though, as a central location to the Georgia folks, the Bama folks, South Carolina folks, and the Florida folks, and the Tennessee folks, actually makes sense. You know, the Panhandle makes sense. PCB is a beautiful area. It'll work. It'll just be crowded because spring break. A little crowded out there for a Sunday. It's awful crowded today. Let's see what else I can touch on. Oh, gotta mention this. I gotta mention this. I love what Tiger Cat is doing on her streams. I love what she's been doing lately with her streams and you know, taking subjects, you know, non-sport subjects, subjects that are in the news and that kind of thing. I think they're very interesting. I actually listened in on two of the streams for a few minutes just to see what was going on. I thought she did a great job. Mostly, mostly just sitting back and letting the conversation flow organically, if you want to use that term. I don't know where that one panel she did with Rec Talk and that other chick, I forgot her name. I sat there and I was wondering to myself, where in the hell did she dig this woman up from? Because that woman was bonkers. I thought Rec Talk did a good job. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, he treated her pretty fairly and was nice to her, and didn't engage in hyperbole. It didn't engage in ad hominems, which is what she did. I mean, you know, she came off with a serious case of bloated self-importance that frankly was embarrassing to listen to. But I thought Rec Talk did a pretty good job with that. And then the next week, that discussion over capital punishment. I heard a lot of silliness coming out of that debate. I mean, the lack of understanding of the of federalism and the division of powers between the judiciary and the legislative and the executive branches, quite frankly, was scary to me, and how much misunderstanding there was in that whole discussion. It makes me feel really sad about the future of the country if people don't understand how the government and its entities are split up and what group does what and has what responsibilities. Quite frankly, I was very sad to listen to that and hear the number of mistakes being made on all sides. And the straw man arguments, oh my God. People, you have got to stop with that kind of thing. That's frankly sad. I mean, for example, for one example, somebody brought up the example of, comparing the judicial system to an automobile, and you wouldn't drive an automobile with a broken part, and something to that effect. And I was sitting there to myself, what an utterly silly straw man you threw up there. I mean, no system of anything, whether it's system of jurisprudence or a system of how a car works or how electricity is generated and distributed, or any man-made system, or any system in nature for that matter, is perfect. I mean, my God, to listen to you folks on that one, we shouldn't have we shouldn't have national borders because we can't make the borders 100% foolproof, locked down. So in the argument that was being put up is either we make it 100% foolproof, you can't get in, or we should have no borders at all. Similarly, we should either have a justice system that gets everything 100% right and never convicts an innocent person ever, or we should have no justice system at all. I mean, it's such a specious, silly debate tactic. And frankly, and it was being used by everybody in there, everyone in the chat, everyone on the StreamYard. Frankly, it was embarrassing. It's embarrassing. You do the best you can do with the tools you've got, and you try and get it right infinitely more than you get it wrong. And you will get it wrong. And yes, there is a place for the Innocence Project. There is a place for that, but you know what? If the capital punishment system is imperfect, and sometimes, rarely we hope, but sometimes executes an innocent person, then by that logic, the Innocence Project is just as flawed and fallible, and will let people go who they think are innocent but are actually guilty. So, but no, the Innocence Project was considered to be foolproof, whereas the capital punishment system is considered to be fundamentally and fatally flawed. And that is just such a poor attempt at trying to make a debate point. But quite frankly, as I said, it was embarrassing to listen to. As somebody who trained in the area of politics and government, and has a deep understanding of how that shit works, and to listen to lay people sit there and try and explain it, it was all I could do not to jump on the stream, because nobody was, that's the kind of argument that you're going to make no headway with anybody. I mean, the people that were in the stream, either paneled or in the chat, y'all have certain beliefs and understandings, and that's fine. And even if I disagree with you wholeheartedly, I will die trying to defend your right to have your opinions and your voice and your right to express. But I'm not going to change your minds. I've seen it a million times, and I frankly, at my age and level of experience, I don't have the energy or the time to try and change somebody's mind what can't be changed. It can't be done. Politics and religion, you can't do it. Everyone is dug in on certain beliefs in their lives, and that's fine. That's fine. They can't be. And I'm as guilty of that as anybody. But I'm also intelligent enough to know not to get into an argument or a debate with someone on certain subjects, because it just isn't going to work. I'm not going to change minds. And all that's going to happen is you'll get angry at me and I'll get angry at you. and there will be harsh words, and there will be damaged and dented friendships. And I have a lot of friends out there in this community, dozens of them, and I'm not going to damage them or destroy them on something as silly as a capital punishment debate, which doesn't move the needle of progress forward. It doesn't serve any purpose. Other than, to make yourself feel superior to someone who, if you're someone who believes in the death penalty, then you feel morally superior to someone who doesn't, because the person who doesn't is soft on crime and coddles criminals, and you're righteous in your belief that crime should be punished. And if you're someone against the death penalty, then you feel morally superior, that you're a lover of human beings and life, and all life is precious. And the person who believes in the death penalty is a bloodthirsty kook. And with points of view like that, in that subject, is just one subject. Points of view like that are so diametrically opposed and don't have a hell of a lot of middle ground, what's the point? There's no point. I wish Tiger Cat would, I hope she does a stream like that in the future, and does it on something that really matters in the scheme of life, like, say, tax policy. Oh, I would come out of hiding to do y'all think I'm hiding and I rage quit and all that crap. I'd come out of my hiding and my rage quit to be on that panel, because I'll tear some shit up on that one. Our tax policy is so wrong. Punishes achievement, punishes thrift, punishes savings, punishes marriage, punishes having a family, punishes dying even, and rewards sloth and mendacity and single families, and it rewards all the wrong things and punishes all the right things. And with a tax code that's approaching, if not have already exceeded, 100,000 pages of rules and regulations and carve-outs and policies and all that other crap, there are better ways to do it. There really are. And I would love to have that discussion with someday. I hope Tiger, I can think of a dozen different subjects. I love Tiger Cat. And in this thing where she comes up with a real life subject, and let's have at it. I love it, Tiger Cat. You're doing a great job. Blessings be upon you for your thinking outside the box, especially with this community. I mean, I love to talk sports. I'm not as good at it as guys like Lou or BVD or Pete or Slim or hell, half a dozen others. Vic. I'm not as good at I can't throw stats and stuff like that out there, but I love talking sports. Excuse me. But hey, how about I love the fact that Tiger Cat is talking about real world shit. And you can talk about, Georgia versus Florida versus Tennessee quarterbacks and coaching staffs and all that crap until you're blue in the face. But you know what? None of that matters when you have to write checks for bills or pay your taxes or put food on the table. Unless, of course, you're making a living and talking about that, like a couple of people are. But, talking sports is wonderful and everything, but I love the fact that TK is is choosing to direct her stream sometimes at real world stuff that matters in the real world. And no, I'm not simping for TK. I will never simp for anyone. TK can do a hell of a lot better than me simping for her. So I'm praising TK because she's doing something intelligent and outside the box and unique. And that's a smart woman, by the way. You do not become a neonatal intensive care nurse because you have a sterling personality, although it helps. You become a NICU nurse because you know what the fuck you're doing. So, smart lady doing smart things. TK, applause. Oh, don't want to do that again. I almost left my lane here. Oh, making good time. Making good time. Be home soon. I just realized it's after 3. Bad Bitch Fuel is probably streaming too, which is why nobody's in here. But so I'm not worried about stepping on Battle Angel's toes because her show's better than mine anyway. She of the wonderful purple hair. Gotta love that. I'm surprised that she hasn't been made to dye that hair red by now, but thought they were coming into my lane. Anyway, what else is going on out there in the world? Let's change lanes here. Let this idiot get off my ass. Never will understand people tailgating on the interstate at 80 miles an hour. That just makes no sense to me. Maybe if you're in a Formula One car and you can brake, from 100 miles an hour down to nothing in 20 feet. But you're running around a Honda Civic, you can't brake that fast. Well, I think I'm gonna sign off here. I don't think anyone's in here but me right now anyway. Nobody has thrown a chat thing up in a while. I'm just sitting here rambling on, and I'm getting close to home, so I think I'm gonna shut this down, and I think I'll pull up the Bruins game on Hulu and listen to that while I head home. Whoa. Nothing like a little sudden breaking in front of you to wake you up. Anyway, I enjoyed rambling on about absolutely nothing like I normally do on my streams for a little while I drive home. For the 2 or 3 people that popped in here, I hope I entertained you for a few minutes and maybe made you think. It's always good to think once in a while. So, y'all have a good rest of the day. I will see you in, I don't know when I'll see you again. I'll see you. It's your boy, Celine Driver. I'm out.